right, we're live. So we are here to kick off Big Day of Giving for Headwaters. So I hope people will jump on here and get an idea of what we have planned for the day, because we have a full day of science celebration for everyone. So we'll just wait a minute and hope let people jump on the broadcast. How are you doing, Jen?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, an exciting day today for Big Day of Giving.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. It's my first one with Headwaters, and it's been fun planning all the events that we have for today, and just like getting ready for it and making sure everybody knows what's going on. So. I'm gonna pull up this.
Yeah, days like this are a great day for education, where you guys can help us provide programs. So we're really excited to share all of our information with you today and our guest speakers.
Absolutely. Yep. We have a full day of activities planned. So, well, I suppose we could just launch into it, and hopefully more people will join us as we go along. But so it's my first big day of giving with Headwaters. I've been here now for about 6 months, but I thought I would just like let everybody know what Big Day of Giving is all about, just in case people are wondering. I've been seeing all our social media posts and emails going out just promoting it. But so basically it's in its 10th year now, organized by the Sacramento Region Community Foundation. And so we've joined with hundreds of other Sacramento area nonprofits to help raise money over a 24-hour period today for all of our efforts to improve the community. So in Headwaters, we're raising money specifically to keep our programs free for schools that otherwise wouldn't be able to afford them, and students also that otherwise wouldn't be able to have these life-changing experiences out in the field doing hands-on science research. One former program student said, "This camp sparked an interest in science that I've never felt in my life." So that's pretty profound. And all this couldn't be possible without the support of people like you who value science education. So visit our Big Day of Giving fundraising page, which you see scrolling down below, bigdayofgiving.org/organization/Headwaters. So I am here. Well, first off, I'll introduce myself. I am Dan Itel, the communications director at Headwaters, and I'm here with Jenn, who is our program and outreach director. And we thought we'd just talk a little bit about our programs and just what we offer and what we see the impacts that they have on kids. So Jenn, I'll just ask you right off the bat, how important are these programs, especially for schools that wouldn't normally be able to afford, sending kids up into the mountains for the day to do this kind of hands-on research?
No, and that's a great question. So there is an opportunity gap when it comes to looking at different demographics of students and different regions in the California area, as well as all over the country. But there's some schools that just are funded in different ways and have opportunities, and then there's some that aren't. Different communities have different needs, and by filling that opportunity gap with donations like today, we're able to close it and give that experience to students that would not be able to normally have that experience. There's kids who live near the beach or near rivers and streams or the mountains that have never even been out. to those areas. So when we can take them into the field and open their eyes to what science can provide for them, we're reaching a whole new group of kids that may not have had accessibility to think that they could even go into a field of science. So our programs are so valuable for those schools and those students to allow for them to realize you can do this and that you can be part of our community to grow and enter those STEM careers and be part of just growing science as a whole. You never know what kid's going to be at one of these programs and the different ideas that they could bring to the table, as well as take that experience and inspire other kids to go into the fields. So programs like this are so valuable to get kids having an approachable way to do science, an exciting way to do science, and keeping it free for those schools and those teachers to just drive that passion for STEM careers within their kids. It's just such an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely been seeing that in my time here, just seeing the type of, quotes and just, the excitement on the kids' faces as they do these programs. So you just finished up a field day program and our big research experience program, which is a semester-long hands-on research experience where we pair students with actually professional scientists, and they can do their own original research project and have the potential to have it published in a scientific manuscript publication. So, you just finished a research experience and a field day. Do you have any stories on kids that, may have gone into it a little apprehensive or not knowing what to expect, who came out of it with a kind of a new, outlook on science education?
Sure. So one of my favorite things from the field day that I did was I had students that knew they liked science, just didn't have the different experiences that I was able to bring with expertise that I have. So my background is dealing in the marine sciences and have done a lot of hands-on labs with that. And this program had that as part of their focus. So I pulled plankton samples from the Indian River Lagoon where I live, as well as some water samples from the ocean, and was able to take microscopes with ninth graders and put it underneath for them to see the whole, world, the microscopic world in the lagoon. And one of the students in particular, you could tell was just having the time of her life. I asked them to do just 5 different samplings from that. And she did not want to leave it. She said she always wanted to go into marine sciences, and she didn't even know how cool just the very small microscopic pieces of it were. You just look at those. Everybody loves they call it the charismatic megafauna, like the whales and the dolphins. But looking at that microscopic level, that's the basis of all the food chain in the ocean. And watching her face get so excited about a new possibility in that world of marine science was just so rewarding for me to see just her light up and just get so excited about something that you can't even see with the naked eye. So that was one of my favorite parts of that. There was also some kids where, they were like, this group might be a little rough, a little wily, which I was a public school educator for quite some time and very used to dealing with students like that. And just watching that group that the teachers were like, watch out for this one. They were so well behaved and engaged and excited. And it's the first time that they really were able to have science be approachable to them. And those kids were phenomenal and ended up coming out of that program with a full presentation of a research project that they designed. So it was really cool to see that process of, hey, this group might be a little tough, and watching them thrive because they had that different experience in sciences. And then for the research experience, some of them, they come with such amazing big ideas, and watching them grow over the course of the program and working with their mentors is just absolutely incredible. The kids blow you away with the unique perspectives on research that's going on. We had a girl that took a big idea in social sciences, which is a very difficult thing to study in general, but especially the climate we're in right now where it's hard to get one-on-one time in some places due to the pandemic. She thrived and she created this entire focus group and was able to gather all of our data with the guidance of an expert in the field. And hearing her talk about that experience in our presentation night was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, actually, we're going to be talking with one of your former research students later today. So that's going to be at 5 o'clock. So definitely don't miss that. You mentioned STEM careers, and I know that these are just kids and, they may not have a career in mind that they want to go into. But for some people, it seems like science careers are so kind of out there, like becoming a scientist and researching sharks, or becoming a scientist and working at NASA. These are all scientists that have done talks in our organization. And it seems like going through these type of programs makes a career in science not seem so out of reach. Is that the case?
Oh, absolutely. So we're going to be talking with Dr. Eliza Montgomery later, who is one of our featured Lunch with the Scientists. And that is, I know, one of the things that she's going to bring up. We have students, a prior student of mine that she hired to work with her simply because he had background doing research like this. And she'll elaborate on that a little bit later on, so make sure you tune in for that. But, looking at sciences as a whole and getting into careers, if you find something that you love and are passionate about, like you brought up sharks. I love sharks. They're my favorite thing, and I grew up loving them. And you hear like it's hard to get into, it's really not that difficult. You just find something that you care about and you love. And the work's going to be hard, but because you love it so much, it is so much fun, and it's exciting because it's something that you care about and it's something that you want to learn about. So doing programs like the research experience, participating in one of our camps, watching our Lunch with the Scientists, it makes it seem a lot more attainable because it is. You just have to find that little way in. And Eliza's talk, she spends an amazing, she takes about 10 minutes talking about her path, because it's exactly that. She didn't think she was going to be able to get into NASA. She always wanted to work for NASA, and she got there. And you can too, but it takes getting some experience and putting yourself out there and just taking advantage of opportunities like what Headwaters offers to help you with that first step.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about just, with everything that's going on in the world today, these type of career paths seem so important, bringing sharks back from, being endangered, traveling into space, researching viruses. Another scientist that we have in our community that will be broadcasting later today is a Pfizer researcher, and just the things that she talked about with being a part of the COVID vaccine research and just the all hands on deck mentality in that organization. These are life-changing type career paths. I mean, it seems like it's obvious to say, but how important is that to kind of get that on the minds of students at a younger age?
I think that's something that students should think about. Is a lot of the science that we're going to be experiencing later in our lifetimes, you're going to be the one that's spearheading that. It hasn't even been invented yet. The COVID, vaccine is a prime example of that. That was created and due in part to collaborative efforts of scientists that you're going to see in our Lunch with the Scientists later. And that was brand new. The science that they have used in the past, but the application of it was new. And we need those young creative minds to step up and be that voice for everyone and use your ideas. You guys are in such a different position than a lot of us in our age groups because you're so tech savvy and you adapt well to different situations. And that is a skill set that is very important that you're going to be able to bring to the table. And just being creative and new ideas and looking at the world differently through a different lens is such a valuable skill for progressing science forward. Something like coding, that is exploding. And a lot of people that are already working in the fields just, it's not something that they're ready to jump on board with. So getting into coding and robotics, you guys are I know it's in schools already, and I know that there's opportunities for you to learn it. Let's apply it to something and start creating something new in that field for science to move forward.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, we mentioned a couple of the scientists that are going to be joining us later, but let me run down our schedule of the day. So hopefully everybody will be able to hop on at some point and just get a look of what Headwaters is all about, the type of research that we're having our kids do, and just the type of scientists that, are giving talks to our students in classrooms. In just a little over an hour, Jen, you'll be doing a Q&A with NASA engineer Eliza Montgomery, who some of you may have seen on a Lunch with a Scientist in the past, but this will just be a more, chance for you to ask any questions. So definitely hop on there and post some questions in the comments so we can get those asked. And then at 11, we have a special live Lunch with a Scientist episode with the Pfizer researcher I mentioned. Her name is Donna Louisi. That was a great conversation, so we can't wait. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you guys. And then at noon, we'll be on with our very own executive director, Meg Seifert. So that'll be a cool chance for anybody to ask her some questions, and I'll definitely be asking her some questions as well. And she has a lot of cool stories to share just about her path into this nonprofit and with science research as well. Then at 3:30, we're doing a Q&A with our two new Headwaters board members. So we're excited to have them join us, and just excited to have them on the board as well and bring their new perspective to things. And then lastly, at 5 p.m., I mentioned this before, but we'll do another Q&A with our former research experienced student, Carolyn Pien. And she's going to talk about her research project that was focused on social media and how it affects high school students. And we'll just be asking her about how the research went, how her experience in the research experience was, and just, her overall takeaways from it. So we hope you can join us for one or all or as many as you can get to. And definitely the theme of the day is donate. So the website's down below. So we hope everybody can just hop on there, and there's more details on exactly what we're raising money for and what our programs will go to, and especially helping underserved schools in the Sacramento area. So definitely hop on there and give what you can and help make a difference in these kids' lives. So
yeah, and we can't do this without you guys. Providing these free programs to those underserved populations is just so important. So we do appreciate everyone that's going to join us today. Hopefully you learned from some of our speakers. Definitely make sure to join me here in about an hour to hear Eliza talk. She's working or has worked on the Artemis mission that's about to go up in the space. So it's going to be a really interesting topic and discussion. So thank you again. And just any questions, just put them in the comments. We are excited to spend the day with you. And just make sure you hit that website.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jen. And I'm definitely looking forward to your conversation with Eliza later. So We'll see you all then.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.